All right, guys, here we go. So, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I am your host, Willie Rodriguez, and today we're going to be doing a Zoom call. Okay, not a Zoom call, it's a Zoom video chat with Floratrack. We saw them at the TPIE show down in Fort Lauderdale, or up in Fort Lauderdale for me, down for them. And what they bring to the table is something very different. It caught my eye very, very fast. It's AI technology and new tech in our industry, which is something we don't see. I talk about how our industry is very outdated for you guys that are new to the show, and just how innovation and creativity really brings, and it brings opportunities and it sets the tone for the future. Okay, so I love seeing what these guys are doing. We're gonna hear all about it today. And guys, introduce yourselves. What's up? We got two guys on here. We got Dawson and we got Max. So these are two representatives, or we're gonna find out who they are and what they do. So what's up, fellas?
Hey, thanks, Willie. Really appreciate the intro on that one. It's such an honor to be on your show, and we've heard great things, and we love the media push that you're doing, especially on Instagram as well. It was really great to connect with you. My name is Max. I'm one of the co-founders here for Floratrack, and just like you, I'm such a passionate person about the plant industry, and I can't help but relate in the same way that it is a little bit outdated. For me, my history comes back to integrated pest management. I worked with a lot of different greenhouses and facilities, and what we did is we took all of our notes about bugs on pen and paper, and so communication across the different teams, the different departments was just all scattered all over the place. And so we came up with this idea of creating a digital platform where we can ease that process of putting data into, a software or a platform, something along those lines where rather than writing it on pen and paper and then putting it into Excel, spending 60% of the time on Excel, spending 40% of the time on the greenhouse, why don't my reports get generated as I'm putting information in? And through push and pull and different suggestions by different growers, we've been able to create this amazing platform where all that you're doing is just walking and or talking, and all the information goes into the platform. And then if you say, hey, I want to know about the crop from 2 years ago, from last year, last week, I want to see what the problems were 3 days ago. You just got to ask the platform and it does it all for you.
Wow.
And so I'm joined here today with Dawson. Dawson, you want to give a quick shout out?
Yeah. So my name is Dawson. I'm a part of the founding team as well, and like Max really touched on a lot of the main points. We saw there being a big need, like you said, Willie. There's a lot of outdated systems, a lot of old school ways of doing stuff, pen and paper, just chatting with your growers beside you. Which there is there'll still have element of that, but there can be some technology introduced and to improve operations. And we're not looking to reinvent the wheel, but we're looking to help streamline and improve, some of the foundational things that are already out there. So it's been great, and it was awesome to meet you guys at TPIE and just continue to get our name out there and to bring some new light to some opportunities for grows to advance and improve. A lot of people are, can be stuck in their ways, and that's totally understandable. There is some hesitancy to change, but just like when we went from having landlines to having cell phones, there is a little level of adoption, but now, it's hard for a lot of people to look back. So it's just us getting out there, exposing and kind of opening people's eyes to, what possibilities can be. And it's been an amazing ride so far, and lots of exciting stuff already this year, and we're looking to keep going.
That's awesome. Were you guys are buddies, friends? How'd you guys meet?
Oh, I guess I'll tell this story.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I
you
was
can
like,
say
okay, is
yeah.
it is it
You
safe?
can say it. No,
No.
you can say it quick. Yes, sir.
No, well, Dawson was a professional rugby player here in Canada. He was a paid professional athlete, and from as the times were going, we were creating this idea together. We were putting some things in, and he's got a really strong knowledge, especially in the sales background area. Me myself, I'm a greenhouse guy. I don't know computers that well, and sales is not something that I'm forward facing. Dawson brought the sugar, I've got the spice, and Daniel was able to make everything nice. And
Wow.
so, the teamwork makes the dream work. We're kind of like the Powerpuff Girls of the
No, we gotta change that up. No, we gotta
man.
what else? We gotta be like the he says that them three because there's three founders that they're like the Powerpuff Girls.
Three
Well,
amigos.
yeah, the three amigos. Let's
There you go.
We're like the three amigos.
Yeah.
I love it, bro. I love it.
But essentially,
So
and just
so you
through
guys
different
were
networks, we were able to connect.
you guys were able to connect. So you were working somewhere, and how did this idea come? Because I want to start there. The
Yeah.
story's great. What you guys do, I want to get into the product, but I want people to hear how things are done. So you were working somewhere, and it was ancient, and you're like negative. We got to figure this out, And that's how this idea, how did this idea come?
Well, it essentially started out with, so I have a huge knowledge in integrated pest management, and there was a college like sponsored event that was happening, and I didn't know too much about computers, and Daniel was very well versed in computers at the time. And so we got together and I was like, hey, we should look at making an app for, taking pictures for bug management. So you could take a picture of your plant and it would tell you what's going on with it. It was a pretty decent one. It
How
started in
many
the
years
cannabis
ago?
industry.
How many years ago?
Oh, about 6 years now.
Okay. All right. So technology has
About
definitely
six
grown
years.
from since then. Okay.
Especially, yeah. Once we touch a little bit about the glasses, we'll really see that revolution
Hmm.
happen.
Hmm.
But we started with taking pictures on phones for different plant problems. It was in the cannabis space, and if you look back around, because we're Canadian based, if you look back around the time that legalization was occurring, if you had a problem with your plant, your biggest resource was Reddit. And so at that time, it's not really knowledge based or science backed. There's no reliable information from that. And so we got together with these colleges that were offering these programs, and we were able to create an app and create different plants that had these specific problems. We took thousands of pictures of them, and we created a mobile app that we were able to, snap a picture and it tells you reliably what's wrong with that. And then we got that feedback, that key question, which was, hey guys, this is great for one plant, but what if I want to track 1,000 plants? What if I want to track 10,000 plants? I can't take 10,000 pictures a day. And so what we did is we created, a standard grid, X by Y. You put in your information in there, and then that it just kind of started snowballing from there. People were asking for suggestions. Hey, it'd be great if I could put information into one column at a time or one row, or it'd be great if I could attach a sticky card in there. Or, I have this very complex form that is great on pen and paper, but I don't want to always write it down. So can we come out with something online where I can just create the same form? And it was just, suggestion after suggestion, bringing it in, working with our clients, working with different growers, our partnerships, our friendships, just everybody, they say that it takes a village to raise a kid, but I definitely think that it takes a village to raise, a company like this. And it's been, as Dawson has mentioned, it's been a journey from the beginning. Incredible, incredible, incredible.
Dawson, you could smile, man.
Well, Max is just hitting all the points,
No,
like
bro, it's
it's
so
it's really
interesting.
true. There's a big thing that Max said that's really been the progression is us working with growers. We start, like they said, start off with an app. You get suggestions. How can I do 1,000 plants? I want to look at sticky cards. When we start working with greenhouse, how can I track inventory? Like about my sprays, releasing my bios. There's so many layers to it, and one thing over my time working and talking with greenhouses, that no greenhouse is the same. Everybody's different. Everybody operates slightly different. Everybody has their different pros and their cons and how they like to conduct business. But a lot of the foundational things are the same. And so through suggestions, through that work and that brainstorming, those brainstorming moments allowed us to continue to add complexity and add improvements to our platform. That's kind of brought us to the stage we are now, where we feel like we're an all-encompassing platform for scouting and IPM. We cover a lot of things, not just, take a picture of a plant, get a diagnosis, or see what the problem is. It's a grander scope. So yeah, it's been really exciting, and yeah, Max nailed it on the head with that one.
And just
Max
to
came
kind of
ready.
like capstone it off, it
Yeah.
was it really brings to life because I would say that I belong to the grower community, but if I work in the tech space, it's kind of hard to shoulder that and saying, hey, yes, I'm a grower, but I walk around with a computer and these augmented reality glasses. But I really do feel that through the feedback that we've gotten, we've really been able to create a platform for growers, by growers, with growers. You know what I mean? And it's not like we're just a dev shop that opens something up. It's problems that we've faced in greenhouses that others are also facing, and we're able to work together as a community. I think that the growing community is probably one of the tightest communities out there, and being able to build something that everybody can enjoy and appreciate, I think is for removing and representative of what that community stands for.
This is so awesome. Eddie, these guys, bro, we gotta hang out with these guys.
Dude,
Listen, you what you guys are doing is something really powerful. We haven't even gotten to what you guys are actually even doing other than just scouting bugs, right? And things on plants. These guys have you did you guys create the glasses or you bought them third party, you integrated them to what you're doing? They have glasses, guys, that you put on. If you saw our video that's up on YouTube or you saw any of the posts that Eddie did on social media, we put on some glasses, we interviewed him there. Tell us about that. What is that? And how does that work? And how can someone like walk around and actually use this stuff? You guys have because I interviewed you guys already quickly there. So I just want to tell everyone listening. They have a platform that will scout bugs with glasses on. You can talk to the glasses while you're walking around. And depending on where you're at, if you have inventory management and you have all your nursery blocked off with location, with field A, field B, row A, row B, it can literally go into your system and it can put it there for you of what it is, and it also integrates with other systems. Like we're using a system called Plantiful. It can it integrate. So I want to talk about all of this. I want to get more into the now using the like how the glasses came about, and then using the system. What can someone experience, or how do we experience what you guys put together for the community?
Absolutely. Or do you want Dawson, or can I'm feeling really excited about this one. Can I hop
I was
on?
gonna say Max is fired up about this, so I'll
Oh,
let you kick it
please.
off, and I'll bring up the rear.
Thanks, Dawson. Well, Willie, I this is one of my favorite stories to tell, especially when it comes about the glasses. So to kind of really started where it was, we got some feedback, especially from consultants. And they're like, the platform is great, it's fantastic, but I don't like lugging around an iPad. If I'm looking under leaves, I got to put an iPad down. That's where my clipboard is fantastic because it can get dirty. My iPad can't. If I'm on a scissor lift looking at tomatoes and I drop the iPad, it's going to shatter. If I drop the clipboard, maybe I'll lose my pen. No big deal. And so we were looking into it and we're thinking, okay, well, a lot of greenhouses use walkie-talkies. And we're thinking, oh, well, what if we integrate into walkie-talkies and rather than having to carry a clipboard, you're just walking and then you talk into the walkie-talkie. And then we're brainstorming this idea. We're coming together with solutions. But the biggest problem that we saw is what if you make a mistake? How do you correct that right off the bat? And so we're thinking, okay, well, that's going to make it a bit harder on the interface to kind of see if I said the right thing, or, if I say thrips, is it like three, or, there's small mistakes that can occur. And so we transition and we're like, okay, well, drones, right? We have this amazing AI technology, especially in the vision portion that we spent so much time working on, so we can do the identifications. And then the drones were an idea. And then, it was good and great. But if you think about bugs and you think about it from an IPM perspective, the place that bugs like to hide the most is under the leaf, right? You can identify stuff at the top, but all of the problems are under the leaves. And
Mhm.
then it gets real complicated if you're trying to get a drone in between the crop. It might get caught, might break, something might happen. And so we're kind of transitioning. And then we literally just got an ad on Instagram, on Snapchat, and it was saying, get the new Meta glasses. And so we're thinking, wow, augmented reality glasses, we're really empowering the growers in this way because one, they can still use their hands and they use that expertise. They know where to look at. And if you have that screen in front of you, any problems or mistakes, you can just correct on the fly and you're getting that feedback back and forth. And then as well, we're tying in a camera into it too. So not only are we just doing a scan overhead, but if there's something specific that we want to take a picture of, that grower is that expert and they know what they want to take a picture of. And so that seemed to answer all of the questions and the issues that we had. And the next roadblock that we had is how do we get a physical pair of glasses and how do we put this in there? We started off with the Metas and the Ray-Bans, but they're very consumer based and they don't allow a lot of, quote unquote tampering with. It was kind of hard for us to kind of get in there and put a digital platform. And through research, through, ChatGPT asking questions, we were able to come across a company. They're based out of Rochester, New York. They're called Vuzix Corporation, and they create white label AR glasses. And so this company here, they've been in the market for decades at this point, really working in the VR, AR space. And they come out with these glasses where it's almost like an Android app. So instead of installing Instagram on there, I'm installing the platform that we've based on a digital way. And
Wow.
this corporation is really built for, hardware use in warehouses and industrial fridges. And if you think about a greenhouse, it really does come close to just a living warehouse. And so we saw the one for one, it comes together to as amazing as it is. And instead of tracking boxes, we're tracking plants. And so we just threw in our software in that. We finished around, try to see what would be the best way to answer questions. We really did the kind of some dive in into what should the flow be like. Should we wait 3 seconds on the screen? Should we wait 7 seconds on the screen? If we take a picture, should we have like a frame for the picture to go into? And so We, as we're testing out these glasses, we're letting these consumers, these consultants use them, and they're really giving us a lot of good feedback. And we've been able to really build this robust addition to our platform that really brings it to life. I think one of the great analogies that I like to use is calling it the Jarvis to your Iron Man. For any of the Marvel fans out there listening, Jarvis to your Iron Man. The glasses have like three main functions that you can use them for. The first one is really to walk around and log any issues. And so as you're walking by, you say, hey, I see thrips, I see a broken dripper, I see a leaky pot, I see a broken tray. And you can mark all of that down as you're walking and you're talking. And it's like having that assistant with you taking those notes. Yes, sir, right away, taking it down. And then similarly as well, if you're looking at sticky cards make your hands super dirty. And I don't know for you guys, but for me, if I get it on my hand or I get it on my phone, it stays there forever. It traps and it stays and it's annoying. And so now with the glasses, we're doing it hands free. So I can still wear my gloves. I can take pictures of sticky cards. And then when I'm done, I just take my gloves off. My phone isn't dirty. Everything is great. And not only that, but those sticky card images went exactly to where those plants were. And we can take it a step further. And if there's a crop or a variety, that all goes into our reports later on. And all that I've done is just take a picture of it with my voice. And then lastly as well, the glasses can show you reports of the spaces. So if I say, hey, show me a report of the problems that I've seen here, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it'll show you what the biggest problem that is that you've seen. And so you can kind of gear your mind when you're walking into a space. Should I be looking for more aphids? Should I be looking for thrips? Should I be looking for broken drippers? How often do people find leaks in this space? And all of those problems are listed out for you right there on the map. It's
Wow.
fantastic. And the
Wow.
glasses are just a really great, I think it's a really good movement forward to really emphasizing what technology can and will do. And we do get a lot of that fear of we're afraid that technology is going to replace us, that these robots are going to come in. But I think that these glasses offer a very good happy medium where we really showcase that the expert in that field is that grower and their time and their energy is spent in the grow space with the plants. They're the ones that speak the best language in there. And so if we can equip them in a way where they can see more plants in the same amount of time without having to sit in front of a screen, I think that we're doing a fantastic job.
No, you guys are killing it. Does it, how did have you gotten to where you can fix the issue of looking under the leaf to see if there's something under the leaf, or that's you physically looking? Well, do the glasses have like an infrared feature that can actually spot bugs or bacteria under a leaf?
They, yes and no. That's a really good question, and we hear this one a lot. I think that the best way that I can explain it is the AI model for identification of pests is like a big giant circle. And the size of memory in the glass is a very small square. And so you're trying to shove a very big circle inside of a very small square, and it doesn't match up that well. And so, in order for the glasses to be able to recognize on the fly and seeing what's happening, we need to really strip the model down. And then at that point, we face the question of if it takes around 7 seconds for it to do an identification and you add that up over an hour, 7 seconds each time, it adds up really quickly. And so, taking it back, yes, it's great that it can do that identification, but the people who are wearing the glasses already know what they're looking at. They don't need that confirmation or, I know that I'm looking at a thrip and I don't need some computer to tell me that I'm looking at the thrip. And so we can use different parts of the processing power for different things that speed it up. For example, sticky card identification. People will look at the cards. They do know what's on the cards, but the time consuming aspect is the counting of it. And so if we can box the individual ones and we can label them and we can count them, it just speeds up that process of having to sit down with that sticky card for 20, 30 minutes.
Wow. So it's basically having a right hand man jotting everything down for you as you're going freely doing your work, and it's really saving you time on having to jot things down, remember where you put it. Also taking, let's say, the word of mouth. Hey guys, hey, there's strips over there on the trinettes. Hey, there's this over there. You don't have to go based off word of mouth. You go based on what's logged, what's in there, what's in the system. How does this integrate with something like Plantiful? We interviewed David Turo. Do you guys know who he is?
I'm not
I
familiar
saw, I
with
saw a
him.
clip of the
So
video that you posted.
Okay, we on the Plant Movement on Instagram, the Plant Movement podcast, you can go and scroll down and you'll see me and him on a screen just like us, and we're talking. He's from New York. Okay. He started a inventory management system from nothing with co-founders, same thing as you guys, except he got a big old loan. I don't know how you guys started, but he got a big old loan and he has balls to the walls making it happen. We are now implementing and getting that system put together by putting all the signs around the field. That's where we're at this moment, and we're already putting everything into the system. We're about to go live with it pretty soon, and he is all about integration and like making it better. So the same way you guys love feedback, same that's how he is. So I would love to know how I can use his system and integrate you guys' system for the growers. So we have a company called the Nursery Growers, all right, which puts a plant doctor, certified plant doctor in your nursery. Okay. There's a lot of questions that no one can give you the answer. And a lot of people do what the neighbor does. And just because the neighbor does it doesn't mean it's right. Okay. So you got to have accountability. So that's why we did this. It's never been done before. So, how can we use your glasses with Plantiful and our doctors to go give something to the community? How can that be integrated? You guys has that been thought of?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're the key word that integration happens to use is definitely API.
Mhm.
And API, I don't know the plentiful software like the back of my hand, but I do know Floratrack very well. And the way that I can envision it happening is if it's an inventory management aspect of it, we can connect in terms of, pulling and pushing information related to batches, related to varieties, related to plant counts. So if there's anything that we're putting into, let's say, Floratrack as the scouting, all of that gets documented by batch, by variety, and depending on how the system works for Plentiful, we'd be able to pull and push information back to them so that they get those reports and they see what batches were more susceptible to certain pests and being able to see how many plants did we, go through, did we kill any? If we're looking at pre-books or purchase orders as well, how many of those plants are, pre-ordered? And one of the big questions is where are they in the grow space? And so we could connect with that software. And yes, we have the number of plants, but with our platform, we'd be able to visualize specifically where they are. So rather than having to be on the phone and saying, hey, do you have any of these, do you have any tulips by chance? It's like, okay, well, what kind of tulips are you looking for? I'm looking for this type. And then you look in the software, like, yes, I have some, but if it doesn't tell you the stage of growth or you don't specifically know where they are in the growth space, that's where the floor track platform comes in. And you can actually just see, hey, yeah, they're actually in bay 3. They're going to be ready for shipment in, a week. And so yes, I can do that for you. I think it would be a really good way to kind of have that in between step of, hey, yes, we have the numbers, but where are they? And we'd be able to do that together. That's how I envision it right off the bat.
Okay, that's awesome. For 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 something that, and I just want to use myself as a guinea pig. Our guys walk through and they say, this lane and this bay got sprayed today with this. They got to put this into Plantiful. With your glasses, can they speak that and it does it automatically?
Not yet. The
Okay.
treatments aren't there just yet,
Okay.
but yes, they would be able to. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a scoop on the insider of what we're doing with the glasses on the upcoming months and the upcoming weeks, we're going to be looking at being able to introduce tasks through the glasses. So, if it comes to those sprays, somebody's walking through, hey, tell Willie that he's got to spray this on Tuesday. And then that'll get posted through the system, and then you'll get that text notification, hey, there's a task set up to do that spray. And then later on with the glasses, you'll be to say, yes, I did do this spray. These are the rates. And you just fill out the form as you normally would. This is how much I sprayed. I sprayed from here to here, and it'll all go into the platform. I don't have it just yet, but that is definitely on our roadmap.
Wow. So and so now that we're on this future roadmap, what is you guys' dream for this?
Wow.
What is your dream? What do you see as a 5 year, 10 year? What is you guys' dream for this? Because you're perfecting it
Wow.
as you go. Every day you're perfecting. You're getting feedback. You want to make it better. You want to come through for people. Like you guys have an opportunity. I've never seen this before. So you guys have an opportunity to really be in everybody's nursery. Like legit. Like you guys have an opportunity to really team up with these platforms like Plantiful, and there's plenty others, Okay, Plantiful's the one that we chose to work with. That you guys could really integrate because that's what a lot of these people do. They integrate other things. Like we're going to be integrating QuickBooks with Bill.com and Plantiful,
Wow.
right? So we're integrating other people. Like just like now today, we had a meeting talking about scanning an order that comes in, not having to type it up, scan it where it matches, and it automatically inputs it into a PO or instantly to an estimate or to anything like that where
Wow.
we don't have to
That's cool.
physically do that. Yeah. So that's what we're working on today. What do you guys see your product really being a part of down the road?
Dawson, what is your dream? What is your dream, Dawson? Because we get
No,
so
well,
caught up in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak, my man.
yeah. No, it's a great question. I think for us, like one thing we noticed with the glasses was this was a really big break. This is a really big push. There is some platforms out there, but the glasses were a big thing, and we noticed like we were saying earlier. We're not trying to take away jobs, and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel like with, people spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this big robot to go through. But it doesn't have the hands. Like you need the hands of the grower. Like the greenhouse is built off of these two things. And so having that ability with the glasses is one thing that we've been noticing. They're a huge opportunity. And so that's what we've been really diving into the glasses and the functionality with those. And what we see the progression with this and what I think our hope is just it's a lot of it's about the speed, the functionality, the ease of use. Whereas, if we have a GPS and we always know where we are, we like using the like less and less commands where it's almost like you're able to go through and just say yes, here, picture it, like just reducing, a lot of the functionality of it just to make it, almost as seamless as possible. Like almost someone could walk through the greenhouse and just start flipping stuff over, not even to say anything, and it just does everything automatically. I think that would be really, really huge for us. Yeah, like what I see is just continue to dive in on these glasses and really change the game. I don't know of any other people really taking advantage of that inside the greenhouse. And I think that's just a competitive edge, and it's also one thing that came to our mind when we were thinking about changing something up with the drones or the walkie-talkies and the glasses is the cost. Like cost is a huge thing in the greenhouse. Like, bios are increasing, stuff like that. Stuff's not cheap, labor. And then if we're doing all these redundant tasks, like that's just extra time getting eaten up. And one thing I always use, I'm like, growers like to be in the greenhouse, not in front of a computer entering in data. That's why they're growers. And so just kind of giving them back their time and as well having a really cost efficient way to do that with these glasses. And we're having some progress with it because obviously in Canada there's French and English, and also Spanish are some three huge languages inside the greenhouse space. So being compatible with all those fluently, it's just the layers to it. And that's just kind of just like what I'm thinking about is just continue to dive deep on these glasses. I think I see this as a low cost but high value solution and improvement inside the greenhouse. They can have a positive effect for greenhouses that may be 5-6 acres or 50-60 acres. That's like we're compatible with all that. So that's kind of my thoughts. I know Max probably has his 2 cents to add on that as well.
Thanks. I agree, Dawson. I think that I see your vision and I'm walking there with you, my man. We're getting there. I think
Yeah.
for myself, if we get so caught up in the moment of, what does next week look like? What does tomorrow look like? That I think it's a really refreshing question to look back. What is 5 years going to look like? What is 10 years going to look like? I think asking me that question now, I think that standardization and accountability would probably be the biggest two answers to that. I think if we can use this platform, we can standardize across the board. What does a level 4 problem look like? We get growers on all of the same language. And the great thing about information is that if we can gather it all in one place, we can interpret it. Are there certain times of the year where certain pests in certain regions have higher pressures? And if we can look at that data as a whole, we could even warn entire regions, hey, 6 years ago there was a thrip outburst in these specific corners of the Northwest. Let's maybe we should look into doing preventative solutions over there. And we're not just saving crops on the local scale, but we're starting to look at the regional and the global scale as well. And we're we're able to, spray less overall, which I think that everybody would be excited about. I think on the spraying side, it costs less money to spray, and even on the consuming side too, just knowing that, things are a little bit more preventative and taken care of, that it creates a whole lot more wholesomeness across the entire board, and we can do that with a large scale of information.
Wow. Do you guys hold anyone's data? Do you have access to people's data or no? The people that
Yes,
your clients?
but it's stripped. Like it's not that it's identified as Willie's information. It's just a plain image or that information that's there. We
Okay.
do hold a little bit of information in terms of the area, but not the who,
Okay.
just the what. And
Okay.
again, at the same time, too, it's, we write this in our contracts that you are the proprietary of your information. And if you're okay with us using that information, we will. But if you're not comfortable with that as well, that's your private information and you can keep that. If for any reason, like you're not happy with the service that we're offering and you want to step away, we can package all of that information, give it to you in a PDF, give it to you in an Excel, and then just delete it completely. I mean, although it does suck that we have to say goodbye to some information, but I think that being able to maintain, professional and healthy relationships across the board is more important than some ones and some zeros.
No, 100%. What comes to me is that the like my mind's going, guys. I love creating things. And what you guys are doing is you guys are awesome. I just want you to know that. If anyone says you're
Real
not, tell them,
recognizes real.
dude, you're not awesome, bro. Listen.
Real recognizes
Yeah.
real, man. Thank you.
So
You're awesome
I
too.
see the glasses company innovating even more over time. So you're gonna be able to have even more features. I would love for your glasses to count, okay? Because one of my biggest things is we have to count on our inventory. I would love it to count, or you guys plus something, you add something that counts, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. And
No,
then
that's a good, yeah.
and then also, why can't your glasses be the grower? Imagine your glasses, they scan everything and it automatically tells the computer, like Plantiful, what to do, what needs to get done. And then it knows, let's say, what pesticides to spray, and it automatically makes a spray sheet for what needs to get done to take care of those issues. I see that. I know this is crazy. I'm dreaming here. But yeah, but let's dream, right? We're in a
I,
dreaming space. I asked what your dream was. So I see you guys starting something today that you guys started 6 years ago. You're innovating and it's moving. I am nowhere near where I started 15 years ago. What my dream was is not my dream today. So I'm telling you guys this because in 5, 10 years from now, this podcast, we're going to look back at it and we're going to laugh. Okay. Because I feel like you guys are going to overdo, right? If you stick with it and you're passionate about it, you're meant to do this. Think about it. When you're meant to do this, who's going to stop you, man? This is what you're meant to do. So as ideas come and you see what's available, and then like for me, I'm a big faith guy. So when God opens the door for you, it's going to happen. You're going to shake this guy's hand. This guy's going to be some guy. You're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, is what's going on?" And before you know it, all these doors start to open and things start to propel. Literally. So I see that like as issues that I would love to rock you guys' glasses and walk around, and it tells me what's going on, what bacteria can sense, and it all obviously has to do with what technology the glasses have. So that pushes the company that you guys use to innovate even more. Or you guys go find something else that might work later on. Some other guy might come up with something. And that's your guys' job to be on top of what the newest trend is, what the new opportunity and possibility is. Today with tech and what I've seen with just AI and apps and stuff you can integrate, guys, like who's to say it can't be done? It just has to get done, yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But what you guys, so now let's talk about, I don't want to talk about pricing because if you guys that are listening, thank you guys for tuning in to this far into the episode. If you're tuning in and you want to get information on pricing, can you guys give us like a overview real fast of what pricing looks like?
Yeah, so our pricing is based off of users, not not areas. So whether it be a handful of users at two different locations, or however you want to spread it, we don't do it based off of square footage. And then usually when we're starting working with a client, we want to go through a pilot and get them familiar with whether it be just a platform or they want to incorporate the glasses as well. So we have two different pilots that they want to do, just to give us that time to really have a valuable experience and to customize it to exactly how they operate. As I said earlier, every grow is different, so there is some adjusting and tweaking to our system for every person. We want to make sure when they say zone one, it's actually their zone one. Someone else's zone one may be different, stuff like that. But yeah, we do our pilots. Typically for our glasses, a 6 months pilot, a 6 month pilot, and our platform is about 2 months. And yeah, like you said, if anybody wants some more information or for us to dive deeper, for you to see it in action, I don't know if you mind me dropping my info or whatever, but you feel free to reach
100%,
out to
bro.
me. Feel
100%.
free to reach out to me, Dawson at floratrack.ca. You can also call me. And but yeah, feel free to
Call
reach
me,
out
girl.
and yeah, call me. But yeah, feel free to reach out, and happy to go through it in more detail and see how it benefit you guys.
Yeah, all your info is going to be down below, guys. So wherever you're either listening or watching this podcast, click on the description. That is going to have everything there. You're going to have their contact info, website, whatever information you guys have. We're going to put it. So wow, there's so much. You guys are really blowing my mind in just what it is and how the technology is shifting in our industry. I've been in this industry for a long time. Okay, I'm born in it. I'm second generation in it, and it's just crazy, man. The sky's the limit. Nothing like really blows my mind to the point where I'm falling back in my chair anymore, because every day I get to speak with someone new. I get to talk to someone, and we get to be in that open space. That's what I love. Like this podcast studio here, I tell people this is like our sanctuary of where we can be open. We can be honest. We can really be creative, because a lot of people, they have this perception that I don't want to give my idea. I don't want to say my idea because someone's going to take it, but they forget that we're put on earth to do something and no one's going to steal what you're meant to do. Okay. And if they want to, it's better to collab. Just like you guys can collab with other platforms. You might not be able to do everything I said, but there's someone else that might listen to this podcast and say, dude, I have that software and I need your glasses, bro. I need what you guys have, the glasses along with your software, and together we can make magic happen. That's what's awesome about being in a free space and really opening up. So I
Absolutely.
commend you guys for coming on. Is there anything else you want to touch or talk about or say to the listeners listening to this right now?
I couldn't agree with you more, really. I mean, teamwork is indeed what makes the dream work. That's the biggest thing that I can out there. And if there's anything or any ideas that anybody has about different ways that we can improve the system, we're more than happy to hear about that stuff. We're super passionate to keep following along with you as well with the Plant Movement podcast, and how and different individuals that you're going to speak with. I think that what you're creating here is an incredible community, Willie. And thank you so much for having us be a part of that, and for us to be able to share our passion about it. I think I couldn't have said it better myself. So thank you. I just want to
Thank you,
thank you very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Real quick, I'm sure someone wants to know, do you have any videos on how the glasses look like when you wear them, or what can actually happen? Do you have any videos of like real time that
Yeah,
someone
real
can watch?
time for us, the best spot to check it out is we do a lot of ad stuff on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, Floratrack AI, just like the name of the company here. And we have lots of videos out there that show the glasses working in real time, and how the information from the glasses goes right onto the platform as well. I mean, I'm in a lot of them. I look pretty good, so it's some eye candy out there as well. So enjoy it while it's there. But
Oh, you guys
definitely,
are
our
awesome.
LinkedIn has a lot of videos out there for what the glasses do and how they work.
Okay, so all right, so everything's on LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn, guys, jump on LinkedIn, create a profile, put a picture of yourself, build that confidence, baby. Look good. All right. And go out there and reach out to them. You already know, guys. Innovation is what we're after, and this is what the industry's trending to. You got to jump on the trends. I would love, once we get Plantiful working, guys, I would love to test what you guys are doing. Okay. I want to, everybody that comes on the podcast, if we can integrate them and really work together, we want to because the relationship's there, and that's the most important part, like I could tell you the truth and you could tell me the truth. And that's what's nice about having that. It's not like I'm working with a company that I don't know who the owner is. I know who you guys are, just like Plantiful. So how cool is that? You get to work with founders. You're not just working with a company that you found on google.com. So you already know, guys. God bless you both. Nothing but blessings for both of you guys. All right, go after it all, baby. All right, go after it all. And hopefully we could do this in the future as well. If you guys ever come up with anything new that's innovative and you want to share it with the community, you're right here. You can pour it out into the mics, like we say. And I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. All right. Again, I'm Willie Rodriguez. Check them out. God bless you guys wherever you're at. And let's go, baby.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Let's do
All
it.
right, guys. Take it
Minds
easy.
to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Won't scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gonna work us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.